Yes, 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 yes. Will you all join me in singing our opening song, please? Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can feel the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Yes, I feel it. I feel it. Being out in nature, I definitely feel it. And it's nice to be in nature and have that, just that exuberant feeling everywhere, and then come into our place and the feeling is still there. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Our Sunday services are being live streamed. Thank you for helping to support Unity's ministry. Thank you for donating by going to PayPal or to our website. Thank you, Clayton, at unityofbillings.org. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, last Thursday night, Yoga with Tony was just epic. It was so nice. It's so nice to be here at that time of the evening, and we have our beautiful sunrise light on, and it's a magical time. And I come in here. I was a little bit late. I know you guys find that hard to believe, right? No way. No way. She was like, no way. And it was, but even 20 minutes of that yoga is so good. And Tony is very, very adept and knowledgeable. So we'll see you all there this Thursday at 5:30. Please join us. It's really wonderful. And March 24th at 4 p.m. will be an art workshop with Reverend Phil, and then he will speak with us on March 23rd. Next Sunday is our corned beef and cabbage Irish stew fundraiser, and Irish bread and Irish butter, all of it. Irish everything. What are Irish desserts? I was thinking about, what kind of Irish desserts are there? I'm not familiar with any.
Robin's going to bring, what are they called, Robin? Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Oh.
Okay.
I'm bringing dessert.
Okay, great, awesome. It'll be fabulous. I know, no doubt about that. Just pour some Irish cream on it, and it'll be good.
There may be some Baileys-ish.
Baileys! I knew it. I was thinking Baileys. Okay.
It's really Orphan Girl from Butte, but she's
Sweet.
the Irish capital.
Okay.
There you go.
That'll be very good. Thank you. So there's still time to sign up if you haven't signed up for your dinner, just so that we'll know how much to buy. And you can always just drop in, pick it up, and take it home if you can't join us. So
Still sign up.
yes, still sign up. Definitely sign up, so we'll know. So we'll have plenty. Our spring equinox sound bath is coming up March 19th. I need to turn my light on here so I can see. It's not. Okay, so yes, on the 19th of March will be our spring equinox sound bath. And that will happen here in our sanctuary. Just show up if you want to bring a blanket, if you want to bring a pillow, whatever. People lay on chairs, they lay on the floor, they sit in chairs, and everybody gets this wonderful, wonderful bath of magnificent intonations and sounds. Today, Reverend Orlinda Worthington will be speaking with us via Zoom, right? Are we Zooming today? Awesome. Thank you for technology. Living above the line. And Orlinda's talks are always fantastic and very inspirational. March 16th will be Reverend Evie Weigel. Saturday, March 22nd will be the workshop with Phil, Reverend Phil. The 23rd will be Reverend Phil Zemke, and the 30th will be Leslie Fisher. Yay, Leslie. All right, if everyone will take a moment, take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. And we will listen to the Unity song of David Friedman.
Every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me, there's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way, all loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are unity.
Thank you, David. Now I'm lighting our Christ candle, which is a symbol of our indwelling Christ within all of us and in our service today. And this looks fantastic. I love this. Charlene, thank you. Very nice. Thank you for decorating the church so beautifully. It's just an extension of your creativity and your kindness and your love. And we appreciate you so much. Thank you. Today, the daily word speaks of wholeness. I am created in the image of wholeness. If you'll join me, wholeness. I am created in the image of wholeness. Being in discomfort or coping with a disease may lead me to lose touch with my wholeness. But remembering I am an expression of God and part of the perfection of the divine helps me keep my health challenges in perspective. My divine nature is wholeness, regardless of the condition of my body or mind. To reconnect with this truth, I quiet my thoughts in prayer and claim my spiritual gift of life, centering in an awareness of the healing energy that continually flows throughout my body. I let go of fear and release thoughts of illness. I replace them with positive thoughts of life and peace. I am fully human and fully divine. Calm and centered, I reinforce these thoughts with affirmations of healing and wholeness. I am whole. I am strong. I am free. Your faith has made you well. Matthew 9:22. And again, will you affirm with me? Wholeness. I am created in the image of wholeness. I love the daily word. It's such a wonderful tool. It's such a wonderful reminder. And we have daily words that are on their way to us now. They'll be here soon on the back table for you for a small donation. And or you can have old ones too and recycle them because they're all appropriate. And like Edie, what if she got 100-year-old daily word?
Yeah.
That's so amazing. She walks around, she holds it so reverently. It's very nice, very wonderful. All the information, all the reminders. And if you'll join me in affirming our Unity Foundation principle, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. And our Unity of Billings affirmation. Through divine wisdom and grace, Unity of Billings is vibrant, healing, and inclusive. Our Unity of Billings affirmation was crafted for us by Charlene, our Unity Prayer Chaplain, another gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now if you'll take a moment and hold your tithes in your hands, or your prayers. We should have prayer cards in each one of the hymnals in front of you. If you wish to submit a prayer or a request about something, infuse these in your hands with your love and your energy, and join me in praying. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. And Robin has a special music treat for us. Yes. Thank you, Robin.
You are blessed. You are a blessing. 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 You are a blessing. You are a blessing.
That was a short song. A very short song. I was going to get my tithe and, do things, get some coffee, have a chat. All right. Thank you all for your physical presence and joining us live stream. It feels so good to be among all of you and feel the energy and the light. Thank you for your gifts, for your love and that light that circulates and pulses throughout this building, this city, this state, and into infinity. We create our reality every day with the beautiful energy that we send forth and generate in our body, in our minds, in our essence. And so it is. All right, so today, March 9th, Rev Orlinda Worthington, Living Above the Line. She's going to show up here in just a minute. The magic. There she is. There's that beautiful lady. Good morning, Orlinda.
Good morning. Ooh, let me turn my phone down here. I was listening on my phone and watching here. Well, good morning, everyone, and congratulations if you're here. You remember to spring forward, right?
Yes.
So yay for us. And I was so excited because the weather was supposed to be nice this weekend. I thought, great, I can go down and be at Unity in person. And then I came down with COVID last week. First time ever. So I got knocked off my high horse a little bit. I was pretty proud of myself that I had stayed healthy for these entire 5 years. But anyway, I think I'm on the mend, but nonetheless, I didn't want to risk any possibility of sharing anything with any of you that nobody wants, right? So I determined, though, next time, if I'm invited to speak, I hope to make it there. And I apologize if my voice is a little cranky this morning. Anyway, so welcome. Glad to have you here. You know, it's really important that you're all here right now today, whether it's in person or online, because your presence really signals your commitment to supporting each other and your community and creating new experiences for yourself and the world. And I thank you for that. As that song said, you are a blessing. And a special thanks to Robin, those readings and your sharing was perfect. Or Linda, I'm sorry, and to Robin for getting all of the Zoom organized. So I guess it would be 2 weeks ago now, I was snorkeling in the ocean, seeing some of the most beautiful, exquisite sea creatures in the world in the Galapagos Islands. Giant tortoises, technicolor fish, sharks, definitely a different ecosystem we see in Montana for sure, right? And it was beautiful and I was loving it. And I was also getting hit in the face with flippers, having my view clouded by others rushing to see the seahorse, and I became irritated. Like, why don't people watch where they're going? Give the reef some space. The guide should have gone over snorkeling etiquette before we left. Yada, 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 yada. And I began a downward spiral of anger, blame, and self-sabotage. Fortunately, I quickly caught myself and reframed, and I said, Orlinda, you are missing it. You are missing this once-in-a-lifetime experience by allowing yourself to get irritated. So I kind of came up with this mantra. I said, just breathe. And any of you who have snorkeled or scuba dived, you know, you can really hear your breath, you know, through the tube and underwater. So I would just say, breathe, float, relax into the experience. Breathe, float, relax into this experience. Because you are missing this once-in-a-lifetime experience by allowing yourself to spiral downward in your thoughts and your experience. And as I was thinking that, I thought, guess what? This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. This life is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I mean, you know, we know that, but yet think about that. We say so many things are a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but really, this very day, this very moment is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's never going to be the same. And we don't want to miss it by going to that dark, icky place. Although it's interesting how quickly, at least my mind, maybe yours too, can go to the worst case scenario or the worry, the anger, the blame, all those types of things. And boy, isn't that easy to do right now, possibly, with the way things are going on in the world. I recognize that. The good news is I have brought a method to all of us to help us make a positive choice a little easier, a little more quickly. And I think it's one of the most important ways for us to know if we're leading our lives productively in terms of consciously co-creating a brighter future or not. And it begins with a very technical diagram. So, you may want to grab a piece of paper or your phone and snap a photo. It's pretty technical. Let me grab it. Oh, I guess there we go. Yeah, that's it. See if I can get it straighter. Yep,
Orlinda, you're so.
just a simple straight line. That's it. And I think I've shared that with you before, because the question that comes with it, which will be a little bit different today, is, are you operating above or below that line? Are you operating above or below the line? And this is actually a diagram from a book called 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. And it was a required read for a ministerial class on ethics. And I thought at the time it's a little strange, but I began to see it in terms of spirituality and taking leadership in our own lives. The authors do workshops for corporate leaders, but they say you're either operating above or below the line of conscious leadership. And we, if not us, who else is the leader of our own life? So at one point, we're either living above or below that line. Now, above, and if we were here, we could have an opportunity to write all these down, but living above the line are, things like being open, curious, inclusive, accepting of differences, honest, respectful, compassionate. And below the line are things like being closed, defensive, and blaming others, committed to being right, maybe a little selfish or dishonest. So now that we know a little bit more about this very technical tool, I'll pose that question again and give you just a second to think about it. Where in your life right now are you living mostly above the line or below the line? Maybe above the line is in your communications with others and your friends and your people you love. Maybe below the line could be anything from your work life to politics to who knows. It doesn't really matter. It changes, of course. Now, here's the thing. Being below the line isn't necessarily bad. It just gives us an opportunity to change, right? In fact, below the line is often normal for many. That's according to Dan Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence. Some of you are probably familiar with that. It's a great book. And he says the part of our brain called the amygdala is continually scanning for threats, keeping our primitive questions in mind. Is this something I hate, that hurts me, that I fear? And if so, it sounds an alarm. Our ancient ancestors would either fight, run, stand still, or play dead, depending on what was threatening them. And the amygdala was doing its job with instinctual reaction to keep them safe. Now, Goleman says, like our ancestors, our brain still has that part that's constantly scanning our horizon for threats. Now, today, those threats really rarely endanger our physical survival. Not so many saber-toothed tigers around these days, although bears and mountain lions, I guess, in Montana might qualify. Nevertheless, we can have a tough time telling the difference between a real threat to our body and an imagined threat to our identity or our ego. And I would add, in terms of our spirituality, our authentic self. So we can see a personal threat simply when, our spouse frowns at us, our boss dismisses our ideas, a friend doesn't respect us. And certainly we can see a threat in the images of the chaos going around in the country and the world. And even though there may be no physical danger to us, when we perceive a threat to our well-being in any way, our brain can quickly dive below the line. And we don't even choose it consciously usually. We just do it. We close down. We get defensive. We double down on being right. We might lash out and blame others. Because our ego firmly believes that if it is not right, it will not survive. Think about that for a moment. Our ego believes that if it is not right, it will not survive, so it fights. Goldman adds that the higher the stakes, the more the ego will try to survive by being right. Boy, we can think of that in the terms of a lot of things happening and people's reactions right now. Our ego thinks if we're not right, it won't survive. Now, there is some good news about this, because along the way of this evolutionary path, humans have developed the ability to choose. We get to choose our friends, the people we associate with, everything really. Most importantly, we get to choose the thoughts we keep. We get to choose the thoughts that we keep. Ancient spiritual traditions remind us that at each moment of the day, we make choices that either affirm or deny our lives. And science tells us we're the only species that has the ability of conscious choice, not just simply reacting on instinct. New thought teachings like Unity tells us there is this thinking stuff that produces the thing imagined by the thought. That's the thoughts are things idea. So really, no matter your belief or where you are on this, there are no outside factors that can force us to feel any certain way. We choose how to respond or react to what has been said or done, to the news, to partner discussions, to me right now. And that means we can all choose to lead with love and with consciousness in all that we do. We're the leaders of the way we live our lives, and it's best to be conscious leaders. Now, it can take a few things to do that, to live above the line. We got to be willing, right? Willing for anything. And it's okay to go below the line. We all do it. I do it several times a day, sometimes. But what's not okay is staying below the line. It's okay to go below the line, not okay to stay there. Because if we stay there, we're not creating a brighter future, and I would say a brighter right now. It's okay to go below the line, not okay to stay there. And nowadays, we don't have those same threats, but our brain still goes first to look for protection and survival and control of circumstances, especially when things in the world seem out of our control. We can go to fear of survival. We have evolved the ability to choose, though. And yet sometimes we still react before we make it. Tools for what I'm going to give you for choosing to go and stay above the line. One, I mentioned you got to be willing. You know, if nothing much happens if we're not willing, right? And I'm getting a little message that my internet's unstable. So I guess, Robin, if I fade out, let me know or send me a text message, and we'll hope for the best here. So we got to be willing. We got to have a commitment to live above the line. The authors of Conscious Leadership clarify that commitment's a statement of what is. And you can know the results of your commitment by what is. Like this illustration they use is that we are committed to weighing what we weigh right now. How do we know? Because it's what is, it's what we weigh. You know, we may say we want to lose weight or gain weight or get more fit. And we can do that. But the reality is what's our right now. The result, not our words, is the proof of our commitment. So it's a way to determine at any moment if you're living above or below the line. And it is easy to go, and I see here, I'm operating on two things here. Robin says, we're good. Okay, good. So we need to be willing, we need to be committed to staying above the line. And we need to have an awareness. Knowing when you're below the line is more important than being below the line. Because once we have that self-awareness, we can locate where we are. And then we can say, yep, I'm a little down here, I want to be a little bit up here. We can shift. And shifting might be moving from closed to open, from defensive to curious, from wanting to be right to wanting to learn, from fighting for survival of the ego to living in and leading from a place of security and trust. So being willing to shift and move above the line, according to the authors, is key for our emotional, spiritual, mental, and psychological evolution, because we are still evolving. So this is simply a tool to check and see where we are. And it can be used with interactions from loved ones to work situations to snorkeling, right? I could have gone on and kept ruining that experience for myself, but I went, wait a minute. How do I want to feel right now? How do I want to experience this? I'm not going to let anyone else determine that for me. I know it sounds sometimes difficult to do, and it can be, but we have lots of opportunities to go above the line. Hey, listening to the news these days is a good place to practice, right? If we choose to listen to the news, we can be aware of where we go and when we go there. Do we go to anger and blame? Or do we move maybe to community action or prayer? Or reevaluating our life and how can I make a small difference? Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you can't be upset with others and maybe want to get involved to make a change. But if you're upset and you're blaming, the key, I think, is not to stay there. Because sometimes it feels good, right? Hold a grudge, but not really. And contrary to the bumper sticker, shift doesn't just happen. We got to be willing, committed, and we got to be aware. And we got to make an effort to make that shift, because the reason, I think, is simply it feels better. And I don't want to waste a moment of my life experience feeling ickier than I really need to. And the fourth thing I would offer as a reminder, we are rarely seeing the whole picture. You know, as I think most of you know, I worked in the news business, television news, for a long time. And it was so long ago that when I had my TV production class, we were in analog mode. That's how TVs worked. And the way it worked, and I don't remember exactly how many dots and lines it was, but really you weren't seeing an entire picture. What you were seeing is a series of thousands of little dots going in lines so very fast that it created a picture. We weren't really seeing the whole picture. And I remember one time being very irritated because it was very slick and icy out. And I was behind a big truck and they stopped. And the driver gets out and another driver gets out over here at this intersection. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are going to get out and have a little chat? I'm trying to get to work. I'm behind. What the H is going on? So I was going way below the line, blaming them, the entire half. And I slowly pulled around the truck. And there was a gentleman laying on the ground. He had slipped and fallen on the ice. And these two gentlemen could see what I could not. And they had gotten out to help him. And I very slowly went on my way because he was obviously being attended to, but I thought, wow. You know, thank God I wasn't going too fast, and if I had seen that gentleman not been able to stop. But I couldn't see the whole picture. And rarely do we see the whole picture. So it's just something to keep in mind. Sometimes in a situation, am I seeing the whole picture? Now, digital, of course, television works a whole different way. But I love that example of the idea that we were really just seeing a series of thoughts and lines, not a whole picture. And watching the news is tough. We feel angry and we can be effective right where we are, right in the moment. And, you know, each one of us is constantly broadcasting. That's why it's so very important to pay attention to whether we are communicating above or below the line. And I think this may seem a very simple diagram. You may walk away today going, well, I don't know about that above the line and all that stuff. It was very simple. But you know, it can be that simple to make a difference, to broadcast positively in our life and anybody's life. And you've all experienced it. I don't think I even need to give an example of when you say something positive and helpful to someone. Sometimes, you know, their whole demeanor changes. Sometimes even stand up straighter and they smile, as opposed to saying, oh boy, that's a really tough job, or you're going to have a hard time, or I don't know if you can do that. We can see them deflate. So that's a way that we can all operate above the line very simply anytime in our own lives. And the larger conversation, of course, is about our state of consciousness. Unconscious meaning being cut off from authentic experience of people, of ourselves and our lives, and spirit or God, whatever your belief is. Conscious means experiencing the what is here and now, responding in the moment, not going below that line, or if we do, bringing ourselves back up. out of that fear, regret, anger about the past, greed, worry, whatever it is. And I think it's important also, before I close, to remind us it's very helpful, I think, to get clear on our purpose. When we're creating something, we talk in Unity and religious science about creating our life. And I believe we do that. So when we're doing that, we want to also create, not only just live in the moment from above the line, but we want to create from above the line. Let's say we want a new job, and the reason is we come home one day and I hate my boss, my coworkers are stupid, they don't like me, I don't get paid enough, all this below the line stuff. So if we're trying to create something better or newer, might not be wise to create from below the line, from that spot. I think it works better if we get clear and we work out those things that don't work for us, and then we say, okay, I would like to have a new job, but I want a job where I feel respected and I respect my coworkers. I feel good walking in the door each day. I'm happy with the money I make. How do I want to feel above the line? And if we go about creating that, even creating each day, we might I wake up sometimes and I hear news on the radio, and man, I get bummed out before I'm out of bed. And I'd have to go, wait a minute, I can turn it off. What do I want to feel today? Hey, I want to feel healthy, for one. I want to feel happy. I want to feel connected to others, whatever it is. We can set our intention for anything above the line. In my experience, it's been so important to get that feeling rather than just the words. Sometimes it may come easy, sometimes maybe not. But set your intention. What do you want to experience? Because we all have less time on this earth than we had before we started this right now, right? And that's not to be kind of maudlin or depressing, but it's just a reminder that I certainly don't want to stick my head in the sand and not know what's going on around me. And I don't want that to control me. And the news of the day of the world doesn't have to keep me from broadcasting some good, positive thoughts. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, and he was the founder of Unity, the Fillmores. He said, life is constantly seeking its evolution through us, constantly calling to and through us. In order for what's happening in our world to change, something in us has to evolve and shift. So I have offered just a simple tool of thinking about above or below the line as a way to do that, a way to help ourselves and our world evolve and shift. And I do believe each one of us doing that is important. So the invitation as I wrap up is to be willing to constantly deepen our sense of self in and through every great moment, every beautiful sunrise, and through every challenge, no matter what is. Things are going to come and go. Situations in this country and the world will change. And I'm not suggesting we ignore injustice, far from it. I propose that we can solve issues, make life-enhancing decisions in our personal life and in our community, if we come about it first from a consciousness above the line, being aware of where we're at. Notice our reactions to something and have an awareness where it might be coming from. Maybe from that old amygdala, we're just trying to survive, that old ego that wants to survive. And then we can decide to be committed to a higher way of being. We become willing, committed, aware, and recognize we may not be seeing the whole picture. Most important, know we are always a choice, always at choice of our inner experience. Do we choose to squander this life on thoughts of past hurts and resentments, or operate above the line and think and act in ways that bring harmony into the world? This life is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so let's not let anything, person, or circumstance keep us from experiencing the good, the wonder, the love. Each of you has your own personal power to broadcast and bring unique gifts forth into the world. We can all contribute to the good. We can all be the good news by staying above the line. And I thank you for this opportunity, and I turn this back over now to possibly Linda. Thank you all so much.
That was awesome.